Welcome to the On Your Side podcast. I'm Susan Campbell. I've been doing this for a little while, and over the course of my career reporting all these consumer topics, we've covered scams and scam losses, and they just seem to be getting worse and worse, more believable. It's an important topic to continue to talk about. So I want to bring in my guest, Brian Watson. Brian, you are a great friend to the On Your Side podcast. You've been our guest before. You've offered us so much great insight into what's going on, both as a former special agent for IRS criminal investigation and now working with the nonprofit R.O.S.E. I appreciate you being here, and I want to give you the time to just, first of all, if people aren't acquainted with you, tell us a little bit about R.O.S.E., what you do.
So R.O.S.E. is an Arizona nonprofit. We've been around for almost 5 years. I've been with them for 3. It was started by a lady named Joyce Petrowski here in the Phoenix area. She had a loved one get scammed in one of those romance scams, and it took the entire family a lot of work and effort and stress to extricate her from that relationship. Joyce was looking for help, couldn't really find help, especially on the prevention side. So she took it upon herself to start the nonprofit. So what we do, we educate people. We're in the prevention business. We don't want people to get scammed in the first place.
I want to talk about how important that is, because I do think, we have both seen the impacts of scams where people have lost entire life savings and they've lost their homes. They've lost everything that they worked so hard for. And then it's very hard to get any resolution, very hard to get money back. So the prevention really is the critical piece of this. And no matter how much we talk about it, it's still happening.
It is. And the numbers are getting worse. There is a fatigue. People are tired of hearing about it, I'm sure. And sometimes I feel like, are we even making a dent? Because the numbers go up every single year. The FBI's elder fraud report for 60 plus, we focus our efforts on older adults because that's who loses the most money. As we get older, we accumulate wealth. And that number jumped 59% from the year 2024 to 2025. Law enforcement's overwhelmed. And a lot of times this money's gone. It gets sent overseas, it goes into cryptocurrency, the money's moved quickly. So we really want people to be prepared when that phone call comes, when that text message arrives, to recognize the scam right away, take their time, and not become a victim.
The losses really are staggering. You mentioned the 60-plus crowd, but just overall, any age group can lose money to these scams. More than $20 billion, almost $21 billion lost to scams in 2025. And that's a huge increase over the year prior. That was $16.6 billion. We are talking about so much money.
Well, and most experts think only about 10% of fraud is even reported because people either don't know they've been ripped off, or they don't know how to report it, or they figure what's the point, or the E word, embarrassment. I've done about 100 presentations all over Arizona in the last 3 years. I always ask the question, what do you think is the main reason why people don't report being the victim of a scam? And everyone says embarrassment. It's uncanny that we can have such agreement on it, but we understand when you lose money. Well, we even try to move away from terms like that. When a criminal takes your money, you feel horrible. You're embarrassed.
I think that's an important distinction you just made. Mm-hmm. Why is that language so important in talking to people who have had their money stolen?
Well, words matter. And I've been guilty of this. I'll say so-and-so lost money in a tech support scam, or so-and-so fell for a thing. We need to place the blame on the criminal, not the victim. Scams are the one area where we do it sometimes unintentionally. You wouldn't say, oh, you got robbed at the bank. You would say, no, that there was a criminal held up a gun and stole your money. So we really want to do it, especially there's this cryptocurrency investment fraud. Initially, we've been calling it pig butchering. It's a name that catches your attention, and it's a scam that emanated out of China, and it's a play on words where the scammers refer to their victims as pigs. And there's been a big discussion whether we should use that term or not. It's good because it gets people's attention.
Well, we talk about
it, but really everyone now in the scam prevention world, we're calling it cryptocurrency investment fraud. FBI has that on their website. That way it focuses the blame on the criminal and not the person who lost money. Well, even again there, I mean, it's
hard to do.
It really is, and because we intentionally do it. But the whole focus is these are nasty criminals out there. They're very good at what they do, and it's frustrating because they keep succeeding, and we just have to keep fighting the fight.
Well, and these criminals are sophisticated. These are not one-offs. If there is one person who has become a victim, there are 10, 20, 30, 3,000 people who have also been their victim, because we know these networks are widespread. We don't see one-offs in scam land.
No, they're being operated by organized criminal gangs, criminal syndicates. It's very profitable. A lot of them are in Southeast Asia, but they're in Africa as well. The Mexican cartels are operating a timeshare scam out of Mexico that are targeting Americans that own these timeshares. I know someone who's lost $1 million in the timeshare scam. Highly sophisticated. I just spoke to another friend.
Wait, we need to dig into that first.
Sure.
What is the timeshare scam? Because
yes,
this is a new one for me. I don't know about this one, and I felt like before this conversation started that I've covered every scam under the sun.
No, it's unbelievable. So what they do is there are some very high-end resorts in Mexico, and the scammers, the cartels, whatever group it is, will reach out to the owner and say, hey, are you interested in selling? And they provide a very reasonable, good offer. It's not real high. It's not real low. It's just very appropriate.
And by the way, a lot of people want to get out of timeshare, so it feels like maybe a blessing.
Right. Well, my friend they're older, and traveling from Arizona down to Mexico has become a lot harder. And they said, okay, and it just started a process. And then it's the typical scam where they do some good paperwork or emails and it looks legitimate, but then they ask for this certain tax or this processing fee or escrow. And then they keep asking for more and more money. And then at a certain point, you're invested so much, you're like, well, what's a little bit more? What's a little bit more? And eventually they take all this money from you. Then the next stage, part 2 of the scam, is there's a recovery scam. They pretend to be a law firm in Mexico. And yes, we can get the money back. We've helped other people get their money back from these scammers. And then they want, a chunk of money to help, do their investigation, to cover the fees. It's like their retainer. And that's the second part of the scam. And then the third part of the scam is they pretend to be the Mexican government and they say, you just fell for a scam from the cartels and we're going to prosecute you for giving money to the cartels. So it's highly sophisticated. It actually it affects people of all ages. I've read articles where 30 and 40-year-olds lost money in this particular scam.
Multi-layered. I mean, we are talking about lots of communication back and forth with lots of different people.
Yes, and documents that look very official, documents that there's been a lot of time used to prepare them. And then when I looked at my friend's documents, the thing that jumped out to me was the use of a Gmail account when it purportedly was coming from the Mexican government. But when we get hyper-focused, we miss those things. I mean, just the other day, I started clicking on a link that I shouldn't have clicked on. And I'm not allowed to because this is what I do. Yeah. Part-time, it's my job. And so we're all susceptible just because we're inundated with emails, phone calls, and everything's high-tech now. Nothing surprises me anymore. It's completely unbelievable. But that's the Mexican timeshare scam.
Okay, so how do we avoid that? Because there are a lot of people who want to get out of their timeshare. What do we do?
Be very careful. Maybe you instigate the sale yourself. Don't rely on someone reaching out to you. Anytime someone's calling you or emailing you with a business offer, something they're trying to sell, an investment opportunity, just think this has got to be a scam. It's much safer if you're instigating and you use someone that you trust. You contact the company or the homeowner association in Mexico and say, hey, we need a legitimate company that has successfully sold timeshares to others in this community. So I would do your research the same way you would try to find a doctor, a dentist, or an accountant.
What are some of the other scams that have happened recently? You've had so many conversations with so many people about the things that have happened to them and how truly creative ways that money has been taken.
Yeah. So, I mean, the gold bar scam is going around the valley here.
That one is wild to me.
It's really wild. And the reason that works is because people respect the government and have a fear and want to follow the law. And when you get a phone call saying your money's been commingled with a criminal and we need to put it in escrow and good faith and they sound official and we're going to hold your money and give you a code, and they tell you to buy gold bars and then you buy them and a courier shows up at your house, you're like, oh my gosh. That one, I've actually not met anybody that's been the victim of that scam. The one that I'm seeing a lot right now, which seems to be on fire, is the jury duty scam. It's been around forever. It's an old scam.
And we had lines of people showing up at one of our local courthouses one day because they were all thinking that they had to show up for jury duty.
Well, and so the scam, the one I'm hearing right now is it's a phone call, and the caller's pretending to be someone from your local sheriff's office, and they're very nice, very professional. Say, sir, ma'am, you failed to show up for jury duty. The judge is very upset about this. She does not like it when you fail to show up to her courtroom, and there is an arrest warrant out for you. But then they say you can pay the fine. So it's like two bad choices. You're going to take the lesser one. The reason why this works is they have all your information. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a domestic one for a variety of reasons. But they have your name, your social, your date of birth, your address. They have all this stuff. And they say a summons was sent to your house. I've spoken to 3 people in 2 were in Southern Arizona, one's in Denver, who were very close to losing money. I mean, one of them was on the phone for 2 hours straight with the scammer. He directed her to withdraw money from her bank. Then he directed her to a cryptocurrency ATM at a supermarket. And it wasn't until the last second on the screen, it said law enforcement will never ask you to pay money into this machine.
That saved her.
And it saved her. I love that story. I mean, we need to get some victories every now and then because it gets frustrating at times when I keep hearing horror stories. And she realized and said, you know what, I had all these questions, but that finally convinced me to hang up on him. And of course, the fake deputy started swearing at her because he had just spent 2 hours and he was going to get zero money.
Oof. I feel so bad for that guy. I want to go back to the gold bar scam because this is one we have covered. I know there have been a couple arrests actually here in Phoenix. Somebody was arrested at Sky Harbor getting ready to jump back on a plane to Florida. That person was probably just the courier. They're the low-level person in this whole scheme and this whole fraud. But to explain how this works, this is when somebody is believing that they're protecting their money and they believe that the government is helping them protect their money. So it's just worth reiterating. The government's never going to ask you to swap your currency into anything else, including gold bars that you hand off to a courier. They're never going to ask you to pay for anything in gift cards. They're never going to ask you to wire money for a jury duty. All of these things should be just the most glaring, massive red flags that we hope we can talk about enough that people have that knowledge ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head. The key is the scammers like to use methods of payment you're not used to. So they're not going to deal with checks and credit cards. You know, they're going to ask the cryptocurrency, wire transfers, prepaid gift cards. They keep changing it all the time, but it's just not normal. But they put that scare in you. Your bank account has been locked because of money laundering, because the cartel or the other scary one is anything related to crimes against children. Someone's using your account. We need to freeze it, and that good faith will move it here temporarily. We'll get everything figured out. You get your money back.
And it feels like immediate panic.
It does. You're like, because it hits all those things. It's fear-based, but it works because law-abiding citizens are the ones that lose money to this. I tell people all the time, if you're a deadbeat, you don't lose money to scams because you don't even answer your phone, you ignore it and things like that, or you just don't believe anything. But the people that I've met that have lost money in scams over the years, who've been victims, these criminals have stolen their money because they're law-abiding citizens who play by the rules and pay their bills on time. And they respond too quickly sometimes. So you're almost punished for being a good person. And that the criminals know that.
We've talked so much in our circles of consumer reporting and law enforcement about how artificial intelligence has really made these scams so much more believable. I don't want everything to feel doom and gloom. Can you fast forward me into a future where does this ever get better? Do we ever make strides against these scammers?
Yes, because I'm an optimist by nature, and I'm always hoping and wishing things would get better. The United Kingdom, Britain, and Australia have had success against scams. And I've been interacting with an advocacy group on the East Coast that has been doing research and doing presentations in front of the Senate. Our government's very fragmented when it comes to scam prevention and scam education. You have all these different agencies. We do need a cabinet-level scam czar. Like, that would be the thing. And one reporting place, keep things simpler. UK and Australia have bent the curve. So I know you have a little chart there, and it's going up in the wrong direction for losses.
It looks like the craziest roller coaster ride ever. It's that steep.
Right, but we need a downturn in the roller coaster. And UK and Australia have had success. And that's encouraging. So I wish our government would do that. And then, the different states are doing different things. Like, for instance, the cryptocurrency ATMs. I hate these things. They're the worst thing ever. But multiple states have actually banned them. And I think these crypto ATMs are going to go the way of the dodo bird. They're going to go extinct. Arizona, we've done a few things, but I'm challenging our lawmakers to ban these things. They have no redeeming value to our society. And in fact, they're just a vehicle for criminals to steal. Because I keep hearing stories and meeting people that have been directed to crypto ATMs, and they put cash in there and it's gone.
Yeah, I've never met a person who's used one for a legitimate crypto transaction.
No, and I mean, if anybody who's financially savvy, if they wanted to invest in crypto, they would do it at home on their laptop.
They have their blockchain. They're going.
Or they have an app, or they just transfer money. They're not walking into a smoke shop with a handful of cash, because first of all, there are terrible transaction rates. You put in $100 in cash, you might get $75 in cryptocurrency. That's a terrible investment. You could do much better at home, much better from your phone, and things like that. So I hate these machines. Some of these companies are actually going out of business, file for bankruptcy, because multiple states have banned them. It's
fascinating. You've given us some hope.
I hope.
Give us a couple more quick things to keep in mind to avoid these scams. I mean, we've talked a lot about the really big ones, the really grand ones, but even my dad the other day texted me and said, "Hey, Suze, just wanted to let you know I got an email that looked like it was from you, had a link, and it said photos." He was like, "I almost clicked on it because I love when you send me photos of the kids."
Right.
He's like, "But then I realized, it wasn't actually you." And that wasn't probably going to be the grandest scam in the world, but it could have been phishing, could have stolen his personal information. So like smaller scale things happen too.
Right. So we've been talking about the big, amazing, crazy scams, unfortunately, but the more mundane ones like phishing and smishing. So emails and text messages are the ones that we're going to get on a daily basis. First of all, I do not like checking my email on my smartphone. Screen's too small, okay? Unless it's someone or it's a real obvious email, open it up. But wait till you get home, look at it carefully, make sure, ask yourself, could this be a scam? Look at the emails carefully. Just, you got to go slow. So many times we're in a rush. My dad almost fell for there again, I go again using the word fell. I'm so sorry. It's going to take me a while to get out of that mindset.
It's a mindset shift, yeah.
My dad almost clicked on a phishing email because he was multitasking, because he's capable of doing that, checking email, looking at investments, watching TV, and something came in and it said his credit card was expired. Please update it. Well, my dad's an honest, law-abiding citizen. He pays all of his bills on time. And he clicked on the link. And then he realized, something's up. So I said, let's reset the password and things like that. But we just have to, my friend Amy works for AARP here in Arizona. I did a presentation with her. She gave the best advice. You want to do your emails and phone calls and text messages like a sloth. Move real slow and intentional. And it got my attention. I was like, wow, that's great advice. We're never in a hurry. You might have to go on a break, shut the laptop, sleep on it, go out to dinner. Unless the house is on fire, we don't have to react instantly. We can take our time. And just doing that, it helps. And then if you're not sure, call someone else. My parents know they can call me anytime. And I know for me, I may not need a phone a friend to help at all times, but I have a tech support specialist. Happens to be my 22-year-old. He knows everything about technology. I bounce stuff off him all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, is this legit? What should we do? He's like, oh, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. Or, we all just have to help each other out and don't stay in your little silo. So, the person I worry about most in terms of scams is someone who lives by themselves and is very trusting and answers the phone all the time and is super nice. That's who I worry about. That's the person that scammers can really take advantage of.
You've given us good advice. We're going to slow everything down. We're going to take our time. Brian, if people want to find you or R.O.S.E and have you maybe come and speak to their group, where do they find you?
roseadvocacy.org. That is our website, roseadvocacy.org. Bottom of our homepage, we have a blue button you can click, and it's a legit blue button because you're
it's a real
actually,
link, folks.
it's not a phishing link because you sought out the website yourself, and all we ask for is your name and your email, and we'll send you a monthly email which has the latest scams and other good information, and these are good conversation starters. My parents and my daughter get the same email, so we can easily talk about this stuff without it being a big deal.
Fantastic. Brian, thank you so much for your time as always. You are always a great friend to the On Your Side podcast.
Cool. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate it.
The On Your Side podcast is produced by Brad Denny. Our audio engineer and editor is Todd Martin. Segment producer is Colin Stanton. And I'm Susan Campbell. If you have a problem you can't resolve, maybe we can. Send us a message through azfamily.com or our AZ Family mobile news app. Look for the On Your Side section and leave us a message. Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Side podcast. And if you like it, leave us a review. We'll see you next week.
On Your Side is on Good Morning Arizona every weekday morning at 6:45 and 7 o'clock, and every weekday evening on Good Evening Arizona at 4 and 5 o'clock. You can also catch it on Arizona's Family News at 9 on 3TV every weeknight.